Watch how Trevor Stephen demands that Inchy choose the best of the 2 or 3 alternatives that are open to him here. Classic stuff. On the day that Peter Reid returned to the first team picture, albeit briefly, as a substitute. The last shopping Saturday before Christmas, full of good tidings. Harper. It's Thorne's header. Then Powers. And Thorne's clearance. Just over half an hour gone. Ratcliffe keeping the heat on. That's a great ball for Stephen. Sharp. Stevens. Heath. Stephen. Goalkeeper never saw it. Oh, all that. Kevin Sheedy makes it 2-0. And Wimbledon in danger of being overrun by what's becoming another irresistible Everton performance. Stevens. Harper. Stephen. Making space for Gary Stevens again. Oh, that's a great cross. Well, I suppose it'd have to be pretty accurate for Adrian Heath to head a goal. The Wimbledon defence not exactly short of height. But this little fella's not short of spring either. He's really finding his scoring touch. And no wonder with that kind of service.
We're going to be in for a ding-dong cup tie if it's like this. Trevor Stephen. Little touch for Heath. Good position for Adrian Heath. The goalkeeper's had it. Wilkinson's in the middle. It's a goal for Everton. Certainly Wimbledon have dominated the territorial play for some time. Here's Fashanu. Now he's got Sayer in the middle. Stevens to beat, and Stevens brings him down. Penalty! A penalty to Wimbledon. And he went that way, saved, and it's got in, yes! Hodges following up with Gage. Quarter of an hour gone in the second half. Wimbledon 1, Everton 1. Up goes the kick from Dave Besant, and down it comes on Fairweather's head, and Sayer is in here. It's Sayer, good stop. Fashanu for Wimbledon. It's a goal. They're in front. And a further chapter in this remarkable Wimbledon story could be written here today. Fashanu, Sayer. Sayer! Yes, it's there! It's 3-1, and surely they've done it now! Andy Sayer. And Wimbledon carve another huge hole in the Everton defence.
Then, on top of 4 consecutive defeats, came Manchester United, a match captured by the club's own video. Wimbledon won 1-0, the scorer Vinnie Jones. A month earlier, he'd been playing non-league football for Wealdstone and having trials with Wimbledon in training.
On Thursday morning, we was doing some set play. And what you do if, like, they have the blue bibs and green bibs. And the blue bibs are the first team, and like, if you're green bib, you just play opposition, you know, against them. So he was giving out the bibs, and he's giving me a blue bib, and what's going on, you know? And then like, the boys are saying, you're in, you're in. You know, I just couldn't believe it. And then after, like, he named the squad and said, you're in the squad. So I had to go down London and get a suit, and it was just, you know, unbelievable.
Jones followed his goal against Manchester United by scoring in the next games against Chelsea and Sheffield Wednesday. 3 successive victories stopped the slide. By the turn of the year, Wimbledon had stabilised in mid-table.
Every non-leaguer dreams of following Wimbledon to the heights, but first find your Bassett. Harry's the name he's given, the motivator with a straightforward message.
But sometimes you have to give the old brain box a nod and get yourself back on course and realise that we're all in it together, because I need them, they need me.
Wimbledon left it late in round 3, needing 2 goals in the last 3 minutes to beat Sunderland. Laurie Sanchez and then Glyn Hodges.
Only 9 minutes gone when Wimbledon keeper Dave Besant took the free kick, which Cork touched on to Fashanu and in turn to Welsh international Glyn Hodges. A well-placed shot and joy for Wimbledon fans and players. 4 minutes later, Villa had right back Gary Williams sent off, but almost immediately they equalised. Steve Hodge had his legs whipped from under him, and referee Martin was well placed to award the penalty. Evans sent Besant the wrong way, and Villa were level. But on the stroke of half-time, John Fashanu headed his first goal in the First Division to restore the Dons' lead. And that's how it stayed until 4 minutes from the end, when Cork got goal side of Evans, only to be wrestled and jostled by the Villa skipper, and the penalty was given. Gage's twice taken penalty put the match beyond Villa's reach, although Graham Turner's men did pull one back. Steve Hodge again did the real damage, creating the chance for Gary Thompson to score his first goal for his new club. Wimbledon 3, Villa 2, and an historic night at Plough Lane.
Well, our commentator at Filbert Street, the home of Leicester City, is Martin Tyler.
Leicester City's Alan Smith is worth £1 million. So say Chelsea, who put that sum on the table in transfer talks. Smith, however, is looking to attract an even bigger club, and while waiting, hopes to score the goals that will keep Leicester in the First Division. Smith has struck up a good understanding with club record signing Steve Moran from Southampton, while Gary McAllister, a Glenn Hoddle disciple, is one to watch in midfield. The team also includes 2 Northern Ireland World Cup men, John O'Neill and Paul Ramsey, but is still missing injured England defender Russell Osman. Wimbledon field the side which took the club into the 5th round of the FA Cup by crushing Portsmouth last Saturday. Vince Jones at number 4 has made a remarkable climb from non-league football with 4 goals in his 8 First Division games. But striker John Fashanu has gone down with a virus, so Alan Cork, who scored the winning goal against Leicester at Wimbledon in August, returns to the attack. David Allison from Lancaster is today's referee. Leicester City, by a remarkable sequence of events, are playing their first game on grass for 5 weeks. They've had a home game postponed over that spell and played 2 away games on artificial surfaces at Queen's Park Rangers in the Cup and at Luton. Steve Lynex with a promising beginning for them on a surface which they much prefer. Lynex part of a front 3 a couple of years ago with Alan Smith and Gary Lineker that were as good as anything around in the First Division. But Gary Lineker striker, of course, has gone, and Alan Smith seems certain to move on, probably before the end of the season. Forward from John O'Neill, and it is Smith who gives chase, the defender Andy Thorne. Cork beating Steve Walsh. Morgan. Venus. It'll be interesting to see how Leicester do in midfield, and it's Ramsey breaking from midfield and being held by Gale, and the name will be taken of the Wimbledon central defender. Ramsey had got the better of Brian Gale then. Gale pulled him back, and his name goes into the notebook of David Allison. McAllister, who's preparing to strike. Lachlan. Fellow Scott, and no offside. Winterburn leading the race. He started inside his own half, and a clear opportunity goes away from Wimbledon. Right thinking from Nigel Winterburn. He covered a lot of ground, and Leicester, who had committed their resources forward at the free kick, which was blocked perhaps unfairly by a player closing down quickly to escape the attentions of the referee. Winterburn missed the chance at the other end. Winterburn now taking the free kick and finding Andy Sayer offside. Having had his name taken, Lynax! And they were beginning to rise to their feet behind the goal as Lynax set his sights. Just dragged it wide with the left foot. Gale couldn't control the long clearance with Smith there, and Lynax couldn't hit the target. Steve Lynax has had a spell away on loan at Birmingham City. Pushing was by Sayer as Walsh came across. Leicester City with only one win in their last 7 league and cup games over the same period. Wimbledon have only lost one. So early goal would do wonders for Leicester's confidence, and they're pressing here with some menace, and McAllister is in, and Besant produces a fine save. McAllister wonders, so too does Besant. How did he get through? Well, we can see it again. McAllister started it and very nearly finished it. Reversed back to him by Moran. Excellent goalkeeping. Morgan trying to flick it on. That's Venus. Comes from the northeast. Had a few games with Hartlepool as a non-contract player. Still only 19. Morgan, then Ramsey. No chances taken that time by the home side, who were massing players around the ball. Hodges has put his side in trouble. This is Moran, this is Smith, and that's the goal. Calmly done. The understanding between the two shown again, but Wimbledon will look at Glyn Hodges, who gave the ball away. Moran took it up, and Alan Smith finished with aplomb. It's this calmness in front of goal that is attracting the top clubs in the Football League. 1-0 Leicester City, 17 minutes gone. And that's Alan Smith's 14th of the season. Only Motland there, who's played most of his football for Leicester in midfield, but always operated as a defensive midfield player, and today he's an out-and-out right back. Morgan. Winterburn. Fairweather. Testing out Motland's defensive capabilities, and that's produced a Wimbledon free kick. But at the same time, Wimbledon want to make their substitution. So John Kay in the 27th minute. And that will mean some reorganisation for Wimbledon, with Dennis Wise on as substitute. Almost lost it at the near post. Jones following in, Fairweather too. It was Thorne who took the free kick, almost caught the goalkeeper out. Half an hour gone in the first half. An enjoyable half an hour it's been. Sayer. Here's Winterburn, who's seen a lot of the ball. And Fairweather, a second time and a goal. 1-1. Andrews a little bit unlucky, having stopped the first header. But the travelling support from southwest London celebrate Carlton Fairweather's 6th goal of the season. And where was the marking? Andrews left exposed, and even his heroics weren't enough in the end. 31 minutes gone. Leicester City 1, Wimbledon 1. This is Sayer. Sanchez has joined Wise in the middle, and even Vince Jones had galloped forward to strengthen Wimbledon's hand had the ball come across from Sayer. I think one or two Wimbledon players are saying, well, you've been booking our men. What about this situation with Steve Walsh? And David Allison, in fact, does produce the notebook. It's by no means been a dirty game. We've had 39 minutes played, 2 goals, plenty of frills and spills around the goals as well, but 3 bookings also in the statistics of the match so far. And Andrews was in the right place this time, but maybe saw it late. Andy Thorne, for the second time, whipping the ball in to that area that Wimbledon congest around the near post. Hodges. It hits Sanchez. I don't think he was best pleased. McAllister. Fairweather. Managed by Motland. And Wise took it well on the chest, and the shot was deflected. Understandably unhappy with the application in front of him at the moment. They let Wise get in behind them. Just plugged the gap in time, but it's cost them another corner. Taken by Hodges. And Smith in the right place again. Then it's Ramsey's header. Back in from Jones. Thorne. Winterburn. Cork making tracks to make himself available. Moshram's gone with him. And despite the imploring of Linex, it is a corner that he's conceded. Taken by Andrews. Jones wasn't sure where it had gone, and in fact again the referee and linesman linking up to make the decision, which is a free kick to Leicester. McAllister. O'Neill. And the flag has stayed down, and Venus can keep it in play. Gale lost it, and so did Winterburn. And Leicester couldn't quite pounce quickly enough. A smile of relief from the Wimbledon left back. He was given just the moment he needed to recover. Hodges prepared to bring the ball down inside his own area, and the clearance really was no sort of clearance. Linex. McAllister, good running from Ramsey, a lovely pass too, and Leicester recover their touch. Ramsey, the scorer, and he earned the goal with some clever thinking, which was matched by the quality in the pass. You can see Ramsey setting off. McAllister saw him too. No question that Ramsey was right and onside, and Best left with no chance. It's an important clearance that from Venus as Sanchez was waiting to shoot. Here's Morgan running into the tackle from Sanchez. Well, it's fast and frenetic. Might not be what the purists look for, but we have had plenty of quality in the first 45 minutes, which are shortly to be completed. We're in fact in stoppage time. Well, we've seen the two sides of Leicester City really in the first half. Alan Smith giving them the lead when they were enjoying an excellent spell, and Paul Ramsey with a splendid second goal restoring that lead. But in between there was some tentative defending and a goal conceded, scored for Wimbledon by Carlton Fairweather. But an invigorating first half, and at half-time at Filbert Street it's Leicester City 2, Wimbledon 1. So Wimbledon hoping to come back a second time, having been in the ascendancy in the middle area of the first half. I'm sure words will have been said at half-time about some of the defending that Leicester performed rather unconvincingly. Wimbledon do pose particular problems. They are easy to predict, as I've been saying, but stopping them is another matter altogether. Andrews has to come far from his goal to clear from Fairweather, but the whistle had already gone. Wise on this side of the field. Brian Hamilton has abandoned the experiment of playing Mark Venus on the left-hand side of midfield. But Ian Wilson would be in Leicester's first-choice team if fully fit. He's back now from injury that's restricted his appearances over the last month or so. Brian Hamilton, second from the right as we look, in his first season as a manager in the First Division, Northern Ireland International. I think Brian Hamilton will be wondering quite how this game is going to develop. Leicester in front for the second time, but they haven't really worn that mantle with great conviction. Instead of being the stepping off point for a spell of confident play, each time Leicester have scored, they've rather gone back into their shell. McAllister perhaps typifies the inconsistency, because that was a marvellous ball for Lynex, and Ramsey, a thrilling goal. Across the goal, but left Besant exposed to the run of Ramsey. But McAllister pulled another wonderful pass out again. He says Glenn Hoddle is his favourite player, and Hoddle would have been proud of that one. Lynex with a lovely knockdown and a thumping finish from Ramsey for his second goal and Leicester's third. 3-1 after 58 minutes. Auckland. Sayer turning O'Neill, and it comes for Cork. Wimbledon might have had some claims for a penalty then, but I don't know whether you call it an advantage if it's play on inside the area for a foul. Maybe the referee didn't see one, but there was a tug on Sayer then, who was doing a bit of tugging of his own. Cork had the shot into the midriff of Andrews. Hodges. And Wise homing in, and that was a chance to bring Wimbledon back into it. It was a penetrating pass over Morgan, taken on the volley by Wise, and put over the bar with the goal gaping. Wise, it broke for him. Cork is onside, gets a corner. The goal for Wimbledon here would set the nerves jangling amongst the Leicester supporters, maybe amongst the players as well. Thorne, out by O'Neill. Sanchez, here's Gale. Cork, so many red shirts forward. Gale trying to get a better angle, and he's done it too. Jones, and excellent goalkeeping. Ian Andrews making a save, but Leicester City really, strange it might seem to say when the team's 3-1 up, but they really needed this save. Wimbledon on the rampage, making chances, but denied by Andrews. Gale, skewed, McAllister. Picking out the one-man forward for Leicester, Steve Moran, who's bought his side some time. At the cost of a blow around the left ankle, it seemed. He's off the pitch, so the game can go on. Wilson. Holding off Sanchez, now faced by Thorne and looking to chip the goalkeeper. Ian Wilson didn't really fancy running another defender. I think the referee had come across maybe to say, well, you were being fouled by the pursuing player. Steve Moran, though, it seems, is going to take no further part. A forlorn figure. Battle on. McAllister McAllister, and he was flattened by Thorne. There was some menace in that tackle. And Jones stupidly is getting involved. There's no need for that. Thorne prepared to accept his punishment after McAllister had kept Leicester in possession, and he's being sent off for the foul. With 9 minutes left, it is going to be a 10-a-side game. Steve Moran off injured, with Leicester having used their substitute, and now Andy Thorne dismissed for that tackle on Gary McAllister. Were still in possession, and the ball was squeezed on as McAllister was fouled to Wilson. But David Allison saw the offence in such a way that he stopped play immediately, and the end of it all was the dismissal of Andy Thorne. Walsh, here's Smith. Sayer. Jones with the cross. Wise is in there. Cork is in there. And Andrews equal to the task again. Good volley indeed from Cork to get it onto the target from that angle. Andrews shows good handling. Leicester have needed their goalkeeper in this match. Well, of course, saw so much great service from Gordon Banks and from Peter Shorten. Well, without putting too much pressure on Andrews, he might have a similar career, but the referee now has got to take issue with Linex for a late challenge on Winterburn. In fact, it was so late it really didn't make any sort of contact, but the intention was there. Jumped into him, the two substitutes, and David Allison has to move smartly across. Leicester City have the win they badly needed, with First Division survival their prime target. Paul Ramsey, with only one previous goal this season, has 2 to his name this afternoon to add to the early score from Alan Smith. Carlton Fairweather, the Wimbledon scorer, but Gary McAllister, perhaps the key to Leicester's season in some ways. When he plays, they play. When he drifts out of the game, they look a little rudderless at times. David Allison getting his share of the crowd's attention. But a final score at Filbert Street, it's Leicester City 3, Wimbledon 1. Who's been busy as ever since recovering from a hamstring injury around the October time. But since he's got back in the side, he hasn't found the back of the net. Thorne then with the free kick. Hodges providing the width on the left. Winterburn hesitated and it was taken from him by Mark Ward, and that's measured for McAvenny, who's got the better of Gale. A second chance for McAvenny, and this time it's Cottee who shows shows his appetite for playing against Wimbledon again. McAvenny did all the graft, really. Cottee has the glory of the goal. And the finishing of the move was slightly strange. It was a lovely ball from Mark Ward, taken up by McAvenny. Good goalkeeping here from Besant, but unlucky because McAvenny got a head to it to set up Cottee. The goal after 4 minutes. And John Lyall, the West Ham manager, will be delighted that Cottee has scored. He's been ticking over, but he's been taking the penalties with Ray Stewart, another West Ham absentee in recent games. But that was a typical Cottee piece of reaction around the 6-yard box. Just what West Ham needed. Wimbledon will look for something from Fashanu here. It goes over him. Hodges collects. Keane. Winterburn plays it in early. It was met by Hilton. Thorne couldn't control it. Headed on by McAvenny. Cottee is onside and Wimbledon are chasing him again. Tony Cottee puts it wide. Well, West Ham will reflect that in the opening 5 minutes of this match, they're 1 out of 3 in front of Dave Besant. This time McAvenny headed on with Cottee catching Wimbledon square. Out came Besant, slipped past him, but it was a couple of yards wide. And Downs making Besant scurry. Well, they're a happy bunch at Wimbledon, but no smiles at the moment, the way this game has begun for them. Besant on a charge out of his area. Paris above Fairweather. Kay with the early cross, blocked by Keane. Kay can try again. And Keane is there again, living up to his name. Some of you might remember his father Mike, who won the League Cup winners' medal with Queen's Park Rangers back in 1967. Fairweather. And Pike, Fashanu gets the goal. It was a gift. Wimbledon are level. The sort of goal that strikers really value themselves because it's a reward for following in. But it was a disaster for West Ham from the long throw. Fairweather touched it on, and then Pike unaccountably drove it back. Parks did well to keep it out, but Fashanu was right on the spot. So Jeff Pike with a costly mistake, and John Fashanu with his 8th goal of the season. He's quite a controversial character, and while he's scoring goals, he's getting the right sort of headlines. It's a sharp piece of work from him. It's West Ham's free kick. An indication, really, of how brittle West Ham are at the moment. They've made a swashbuckling start, perhaps could have done even better with 3 good opportunities, but just 1 goal to show for them. And now it's level again. Keane with the free kick, and up goes the flag against McAvenny. Okay, a touch from Pike. Cottee taking up a good position as well, and that might need some stern action by the referee. He's given Thorne the benefit of the doubt. It looked to me as though Thorne had visions of Cotty speeding away and stuck out the leg deliberately to impede him. Here's Mark Ward. Kay's header. Mike. Martin. Ince looking to get in behind Winterburn, and it's produced a West Ham corner. Both Hilton and Martin have come forward. And back came Fashanu with a thumping header away. Benny. And West Ham can try again from the corner. Fashanu has sprinted back to take charge, if he can, of that area around the near post. Martin, and it's just over at 6'4". Not too much loops over Dave Besant and loops under the bar. Mark Ward had a good look and then saw Martin. Was always dropping over. Hodges and Winterburn. Martin perhaps could have responded to a call. He didn't get one. With no harm done, except that Wimbledon have a corner. Only Fairweather was coming in. And he was certainly going to be late on parade. Had Martin let it run, Parks might have been able to collect the ball safely. Instead, more possibilities here for the team from southwest London. Thorne off the line by Kevin Keane, who was there for just that eventuality. Fairweather, and West Ham a little reluctant to accept that the free kick had been given against them, but Kevin Keane saving West Ham a moment or two ago from going behind. It was a header from Andy Thorne. It was well away from Phil Parks. Okay, clever free kick from Wimbledon. Fashanu climbed brilliantly, or did he do it unfairly? The decision is a corner. He was up so high, you wondered whether he'd taken a ride. Turning what looked like an overhit cross into something more imaginative. Downs with the corner. Parks has got to come this time. 10 minutes remaining in the first half. Hilton's mistake. Hodges trying to thread it through for Sayer, but it was under hit. And Cotty's speed bringing something out of nothing really for West Ham. Not too many players would have been able to retrieve the situation then. Been a succession of West Ham corners without any real end product. Ward. Hilton. Paul Hilton. 2-1. Well, it was a different type of corner this time. It changed the angle of the ball in. Still came from Ward after Keane had played it to him. And Hilton climbed the highest. Right in the corner. West Ham regain the lead after 36 minutes. Sayer. Well, if West Ham have had a sticky period in their defending, it's a defender who's come to their rescue at the other end. Winterburn waiting as Gale makes his way up, and it's Hilton doing the job he's paid for. But Ward penalised for a clumsy jump into Downs. Winterburn's free kick. Fairweather did well. Fashanu. And it's level 2-2, and it's Andy Sayer. A leap of delight from him and from those who've made their way across London. Fairweather did brilliantly to lose two. The characteristic far post cross that Wimbledon love to use because they know Fashanu will reach them. And the coup de grace from Andy Sayer. A great moment for the young Wimbledon forward. And Tony Cottee, just a calming word. Certainly West Ham have enough problems at the moment and trying to establish some control on this match. Sanchez, Sayer, just in time, Paris was there. In the last three away games, West Ham have conceded 11 goals. But they're looking very vulnerable at the back here on their own patch. Sanchez beaten to it by Martin. And Gale penalised. McAvenny gets his free kick this time. We're into stoppage time. And the end of a very eventful first 45 minutes. Tony Cottee started it off for West Ham after just 4 minutes. Good work by Frank McAvenny. But Wimbledon had twice pulled level. And Andy Sayer, the other striker we showed you before the kickoff, he's on the score sheet. Paul Hilton got the second goal for West Ham after John Fashanu, there the number 9, had equalised the first time for Wimbledon. So at half-time at Upton Park, it's West Ham United 2, Wimbledon 2. First half, which told us a great deal about the strengths and current weaknesses of West Ham United, and also about the combative qualities of Wimbledon. It's an intriguing situation. 2 goals each. Some good-natured booing of John Fashanu right at the kickoff, and he does play to the crowd. Cottee did well to reach it, and disappointment at the end for West Ham because Paul Ince had strayed offside. Hodges. Fashanu couldn't control it that time. Winterburn. Hodges only just picking himself up. But Winterburn's pass is a useful one for Sayer. And some very composed defending for West Ham by George Paris. To think that he might have left here on a free transfer a couple of years ago. It looked as though his career was going nowhere. And now he's out there with a lot of younger players around him, showing a great sense of responsibility. Sayer. And Fashanu almost got there. It's a difficult ball that Sayer chose to play. There was an easier option available to him, to the player he was facing. Winterburn's long throw towards Brian Gale. Pike, that was great control. Keane, Wimbledon having to scurry back. Keane against Kay. Cottee going to the near post. Here's Cottee! Well, they've been scoring goals here at West Ham from those positions since the days of Geoff Hurst and Martin Peters. Keane and Cottee were the successors in this move until the finish. Downs. Potts didn't really know where the ball had gone from his header. Pike is beginning to fit now into the tempo of the match. And West Ham looking to build through midfield rather than bypass it. They got drawn into Wimbledon's trap as the first half developed. Martin. Keane gives it away. And that might have been harsh. The linesman in the best position to judge, but Hilton was almost caught playing Sayer onside. Cottee, great first touch. McAvenny likewise. Ward and Cottee! Angry with himself. He found room where really Wimbledon would feel he had no right to find any. Thorne was slow across. Cottee was too hard in the shot really, and it flew over the bar. No foul given as Fairweather fell. Keane again. There's an important interception by Thorne. But when Wimbledon do switch the ball forward, they always seem to have a lot of players there. And they had better options really available than the shot that Carlton Fairweather elected to take. 4 players were ahead of him in blue shirts. It's the style that Wimbledon have used so effectively under Dave Bassett, who makes a little note, perhaps, at the number of shots. But this is McAvenny, and there are problems for Wimbledon here. McAvenny can't beat Besant, who held his position, just started to fall as the ball arrived. Wall. Now Potts. And Cottee got it back somehow. That was superbly retrieved. of athleticism from Tony Cottee, and he took his teammates really by surprise. Here's Potts. And it's a goal kick. But Frank McAvenny foiled again. 1-on-1 against the goalkeeper. And the goals just won't come for a player who scored so prolifically last season. At this stage last season, he had 18 First Division goals. Now, this season, he's only got 5. Hodges. And a bad mistake by Sanchez. Didn't look to see that Kay had set off. West Ham trying to settle to the rhythm of their football in a controlled way and being matched by Wimbledon's sense of competition. And no little skill to go with it. Half an hour left. Sayer. And it comes for Fashanu, and he's scuffed it. Chances at both ends. I think John Fashanu was amazed to find himself in there with the ball in a legitimate position. Came off a West Ham player, Alvin Martin, and he got it all wrong, did John Fashanu. Paris and Hodges slid in. That could have been painful, but Paris is quickly bounced onto his feet. Keane, Wimbledon going in with feet flailing and being matched like with like. John Fashanu accepts it all as part of an afternoon's work. It's a game that's being quite spread down the length of the pitch. Very few offsides. Thorne with the free kick. And Fairweather. It's trickled in. Carlton Fairweather wheels away. And Wimbledon, for the first time in this match, lead. 20 minutes into the second half. An undistinguished goal from the West Ham viewpoint. Thorne took the free kick. It went through the heart of West Ham's defence with Martin slipping, and Fairweather clearly got the final touch. Paris, Winterburn played them onside, and Besant the calmest man around. Kay. Fashanu flicked it on. It's the tried and tested Wimbledon method that's brought them from the 4th to the First Division. Fairweather hooked from him by Paris. Well, when you played at places like Tooting and Mitcham, scoring a goal at Upton Park is a great thrill, and you can see it written all over the face of Carlton Fairweather. He's in there again, and Sayer! No! A save right from the foot, really, of Andy Sayer. Wimbledon could have put it beyond West Ham's redress here. Sayer controlled it, hit it, and then found Park smothering it. Sayer. Hilton read it well, but can only give it to Hodges. That's Fashanu, and this is Fairweather. Good save. Phil Parkes off his line, and the referee ruling against Fairweather. Whether it was for offside or a raised foot. Meanwhile, as we look again at Fairweather, ground is because West Ham want to make their substitution. And Kevin Keane goes off. Alan Dickens replaces him. And it would be fair to say that a portion of the West Ham fans didn't really agree with John Lyall's decision. Alan Dickens, of course, for so long a regular, but has just gone through a sticky spell recently. Parks has got to come. Now, Dickens usually operates in a more central position, just behind the front two, and Kevin Keane was playing wide on the left, so that may need a rethink by West Ham. And what they daren't do now is concede another goal from this corner. And they have had problems dealing with the set pieces of Wimbledon. Just diverted away from Sanchez. Sayer trying to win it back. Thrust aside by Paris. Here's Sayer. Winterburn. Sayer darting forward again and doing it unfairly, jumping into Steve Potts. It's a compelling game, and the thrills to the very last. Awkward clearance from Parks for Wimbledon to deal with. Hodges, cut out by Martin. Cottee wanting it played early, and Martin obliged. It's not all over yet for Thorne and Gale, but they've done well in the heart of Wimbledon's defence. Paris. Another corner. George Paris, looks as though he hasn't played the game for 2 weeks. He's so energetic, let alone playing his second spell of 24 hours. Cottee was pulling the trigger. And Gale just flung himself at Tony Cottee. Wimbledon were all over the place then. And Gale with a timely touch. Fashanu is there. And he got his breath back. Phil Parks in a hurry. And Dave Bassett knows that it's not won yet. Fashanu chases it himself. Oh, he does always provoke a reaction from the crowd, but he can play a bit. Downs. And Fashanu again throwing body and soul into seeing Wimbledon through if he can. So what would be another victory away from home in the London area. And they have it. John Lyall's West Ham United go down to defeat for the second successive day. Beaten at Tottenham conclusively, beaten here by Carlton Fairweather's goal 20 minutes into the second half, after twice West Ham had led through Tony Cottee and Paul Hilton. John Fashanu equalised and wants his teammates to come and support and applaud those who are applauding him. Andy Sayer got the other Wimbledon goal. Things are going well for them. They can smile, but there are problems ahead in 1987 for West Ham United. They've been beaten here at Upton Park by Wimbledon. free.
So the bad times then continue for West Ham. They were a championship tip just a few weeks back, and now they're languishing in 12th position. 2 ahead of them now are Wimbledon. Indeed, the West Ham manager, John Lyle, admits that he's got a pretty bad defensive crisis right now. His team, in fact, have conceded 16 goals in their last 6 matches. Neither side involved in the race for the championship right now, where Arsenal have West Ham United. I look forward very much to being with you again next week on Big League Soccer.
Down under a challenge in the area. And Klassen was a central figure in the controversial sending off of Brian Gale in the second half. Here, referee John Moores steps in to caution Gale for a foul on Klassen. While the referee is still looking at his notebook, someone, but clearly not Gale, kicks the ball at Klassen, who is struck on the chest. The referee is persuaded to consult his linesman. After a lengthy discussion, Mr. Moores orders off Brian Gale. And that starts the rumpus. If you watch Richard Gough, number 5, you may feel that he says more than once, "It wasn't him." And there's little doubt that when Dennis Wise appears, he says to the linesman, "It was me." Klassen was reported later to have said that Gale spat at him. Gale denied it. But if that is what is in the referee's report, who kicked the ball and the manner of Klassen's reaction become irrelevant. Spitting is a sending off offence. But in that case, you might have expected the referee to have acted on that before the ball incident. Wimbledon suffered doubly, for they lost shape and concentration immediately afterwards. Mitchell Thomas's cross run in by Mark Bowen. But the extraordinary night was not yet complete. Glyn Hodges curled a free kick over the Tottenham wall for 2-1. And then when Mitchell Thomas was judged to have fouled Alan Cork, the penalties were balanced up. Hodges scored again, and the points were shared. But Wimbledon manager Dave Bassett remained an unhappy man.
Well, from what I can gather from the players, although it hasn't been confirmed by the referee, apparently Brian Gale was booked for the tackle and then apparently sent off for spitting at the player. But having seen the situation, Brian Gale was quite away from the incident at the end. I mean, I saw Dennis Wise lob the ball to Klassen and then him collapse like a ton of bricks.
There did seem to be an element of confusion about who did what.
Yes, I can, I accept that. There was the tackle, there was a few people, then the ball was, as I said, was lobbed by Dennis Wise, and then everybody was mulling round. The referee went to the linesman, everybody was in. Obviously, Dennis went over to the linesman also to point out that he was involved and not Brian Gale. So really, until we see the official referee's report, it's very difficult to say.
Have you asked Brian Gale whether there was any spitting?
Oh, I certainly asked him, and he denies it categorically.
With 7 minutes left. 0-0. Klassen. Waddle. Chris Waddle looking to get to the byline, and he scored. A fabulous goal by Waddle. From the sharpest of angles, after all this trickery, and after Spurs had been up against it, rifled it between the keeper and the near post. And Spurs, with 6 minutes left, have gone into the lead. Ron Atkinson.
Yes, some good skills from the England winger there. Keeper may have thought.
Off with a header. That's a foul, and that's a free kick. And Waddle down injured. And there's a challenge coming up by Andy Thorne. And the free kick closing minutes. They're never
whistle's gone. Now they face this free kick. Hoddle behind it and Waddle too. And it'll be a dip by Hoddle. Brilliant goal! Now Spurs, for sure, are in the semi-finals. A magnificent strike by a man who's been nursing a stomach muscle injury all week and was doubtful really until today and is not 100% fit, but curled a supreme free kick past Dave Besland into the net. A magnificent shot.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now making our final descent into Faro Airport.
The air and the sun of the Algarve was the bracer for round 4. Not everyone liked their fashion, but it was certainly too much for Portsmouth.
Short that from Billy Gilbert. Hodges is there. In by Kay. Here's the goalkeeper challenging Fashanu and Sayer surely. Well, Fashanu. What a strange goal. Fashanu will claim it. It's Hodges again. Chipped in. Oh, it's an own goal. Great. Hodges. Sayer. Fashanu's closing in here for Wimbledon. Number 4.
Well, the teams then today, Wimbledon are unchanged. That brief spell at the top of the table last month has been replaced by 9th position after 2 defeats and a draw. It's a side that's cost less than £200,000 to put together. John Fashanu cost £125,000 of that from Millwall. 14 of Wimbledon's 22 pros came up through their junior ranks. Liverpool, it's estimated that the champions cost some £3 million in transfer fees. Today, without Kenny Dalglish, who's got a back injury, John Walk wears the number 7 shirt. None of this side, incidentally, has ever played at Wimbledon. The sub Barry Venison, though, he was here with Sunderland last season. Nicol pumping it forward towards Whelan. Brian Gale. Beglin. Taking engage. One full back against another, and the Liverpool man wins it. Played inside for Molby. And Besant coming out, and the Wimbledon captain grabbing the ball when it began to look a little dangerous for the home side. Well, if he's one eccentric goalkeeper, what about the fellow at the other end, Bruce Grobbelaar? Good to see him back in action again after that injury that kept him out after he sustained an injury in the Charity Shield. Galliers trying to get Wise away, the 2 small men in a fairly big Wimbledon side. Played in early by Gage towards Alan Cork. And Sanchez with a shot just over the top. That was quite a good chance there for Wimbledon. And big Laurie Sanchez may just be a little disappointed that he didn't make more of it. Cork battling with Hansen in the air, falling invitingly for Sanchez. It's not on. And Whelan on the break. Onside, taken down well. Real trouble here for Wimbledon. And it's wide. Well, there was a great chance there for Liverpool on the counter thrust. He took it beautifully in his stride, Ronnie Whelan. And as Besant came out, played it past the keeper, but sadly for Liverpool, past the far post. Hansen. Swinterburn. Cross towards John Fashanu. Cork's in there as well, and Fashanu will hope to get there first. In the end, it was Gillespie who could take no chances and got it away. Again, these 2 big strikers are causing a few problems. And there was no time for finesse there. The ball had to be belted away to safety. Hodges, left foot. Mulvey away. Hodges crossing it in once more. Fashanu was right in there. And came off the Liverpool defender. It'll be another corner. Big strong man who took quite a buffeting there as Grobbelaar came out. Grobbelaar with the kick. Mulvey. Here's Walk. Good run from midfield, that one. And Besant, well, he went through his hands. It'll be a corner. And it'll be taken fairly quickly. As Walk gets hold of that one. And Liverpool get a corner. Whelan towards Mulvey. Hodges. Beglin. McMahon making the break this time, cut out by Gale, but not very far. John Walk. Ian Rush. Sanchez got it in there, but now it's Whelan with the shot. Goal kick to Wimbledon. Sanchez. And here's Hansen. On. Whelan, some space away on the left for Mulvey. Referee signalling that Fashanu can come back onto the field. But there are problems at the other end at the moment for Wimbledon. McMahon to Mulvey. And he's there! And Liverpool in the lead. A little over 5 minutes of the second half gone. And maybe a slight question mark against Dave Besant in goal. It's Mulvey's first goal of the season, apart from 2 penalties. And that's what puts Liverpool 1-0 into the lead. Gale has gone to the near post. Morris is in there too. Cork and Fashanu, but Mulvey's header gets it away for Liverpool, helped on by McMahon. But there's Galliers. That was a ball that finds Hodges. Gage battling away. Whelan comes away with it though. Plenty of Liverpool players forward. That was a good ball played by Rush to McMahon, and Rush is on the break as well. That's played into the path of Ian Rush. And he never fails with that sort of chance. The arms go up again for the 14th time this season for Ian Rush. And Liverpool go 2 into the lead. A magnificent breakaway in the true Liverpool tradition. And finishing of the quality that you expect from a man like Ian Rush. Good play here by McMahon, although it was a pass by Rush that released him in the first place. And deadly finishing there by Rush. Wheeler. Rush. And McMahon. Sanchez. Winterburn. Sanchez on the far side. Might make something of this. Wise is in there too. And in the end, it was Lawrenson who was forced to put it over his own crossbar for the corner. Hodges will take it. Gale and Morris are in the box already. Hansen's header away. Steve Galliers to Laurie Sanchez, kept in for Carlton Fairweather. And he's got his cross in well. Well, Grobbelaar was groping for that one. Wise hoped to get in on the far side. And Wimbledon was saying, was there a foul on the little number 7? No, said the referee. It's a goal kick. But here come Liverpool. Colby. Rush. On. Made by Rush. Walk trying to get Rush in again. And the flag was up. Gathers. Hodges, Fairweather, blocked, but he might get another go. Wise is in there too, and a deflection, and Hodges might turn it back yet, and Fairweather in there, and Wimbledon have scored. Well, it's a goal there, persistence. And their enthusiasm at the end of a long afternoon is deserved. Wise, in fact, had Grobbelaar groping for that one. It was turned back beautifully by Hodges, and there's the big man Fairweather, up and in. Now we might get quite a finish. It was in the last minute last week that Wimbledon saved themselves with a goal by Fashanu against Southampton. Are we going to get a repeat dose now? Certainly been a much better second half. Look at Besant right outside his box again. And now he'll need to get back. No, he won't. Time to make another clearance, this time finding Winterburn. We're into time added on. It's the last fling really for Wimbledon now. And those cagey Liverpool Warriors look like getting the better of them. Rush is through! The final decisive shot. And it's all up with Wimbledon now. Rush's second goal. Liverpool's third. Kenny Dalglish can sit down a happy, contented, a relieved and smiling man. And for sure it's 3 points for the champions. Past Besant, and at the end it's the sort of goal you or I might have scored. (3-1), 2 of them to Ian Rush. But here are Wimbledon again. Across the face of that Liverpool goal, and a goal kick. Referee looking at the watch. Final whistle, and a victory for Liverpool, but a lot of credit to Wimbledon as well, who battled so hard for so long, and really it seemed in the box didn't get many of the breaks. Mulvey giving Liverpool the lead early in the second half. Rush with a beautiful counter thrust making it 2. Fairweather just giving us the thought that there might still be a sensation in the air. Thoughts that were killed right at the last, inevitably it seems, by Ian Rush. Well, good entertainment in beautiful conditions here at Wimbledon, and the game played in a really good spirit, as you can see with that picture there. And a final score, it's Wimbledon 1, Liverpool 3.